Truth or dare? Hagakure asked Suyu giggedly. Suyu looked thoughtful for a moment. Truth, Kiro. Is it true you licked Tokiyami? It was an accident. He got in the way during training, she responded. In no nonsense manner. Boring, Mina shouted. I want to hear something juicy. Sue, it's your turn. Sue turned to you. Yinshan, truth or dare? Truth, you exclaimed excitedly, unworried by what the sweet frog-like girl would ask. To your dismay, you watched Mina lean over and whisper in her ear. Sue seemed to mull it over for a bit before asking, do you have a crush on Iida-san? Your face instantly became stained with a red blush. Mina, that bitch. She's been trying to get you to confess you liked him for months now. You were shy, but about your feelings, though. You weren't ready to tell anyone how you felt. You clenched your throat daintily. Dare, please, you said, deciding that a dare sounded like the much safer route to take. Mina's face twisted into a delogical smirk as she nodded once to Sue. All right. Sue, you asked? Oh, okay, Regan, you got this. I dare you to sneak into Iida-san's room and steal a pair of his boxers. Your heart dropped. That was the last thing you wanted to do. You rose slowly, dragging your feet towards Jiro's room door, progressing as much as you could. Hurry up, Ian, Mina said impatiently. Your hand reached on the doorknob, and you looked back at the group of your so-called friends and sighed mournfully, trying to exclude puppy dog eyes. Aw, she looks so sad, Ochako pointed out sympathetically. Maybe we... Nope, Mina declared stubbornly. She chose dare. She has to do it. You glared at her, roughly tugging on the door and exiting in a huff. You marched towards Iida's room, your intentions at Mina's fooling your motivation. However, the moment you arrived at his door, all your temporary confidence evaporated. You gulped nervously. What if he was in there? You looked around the hallway carelessly before placing your ear carefully against the wood, listening intently. Your eyes closed in concentration. Nothing. That doesn't mean he wasn't in there, though. You had to knock. If he answered, you would ask to see his notes from class earlier and inform the girls you failed. Easy, right? You chewed on your bottom lip anxiously, trying to summon your courage to knock on your crush's door. You raised your hand shakily, ramping on the door 3 times. You stood silently, breath battered. Nothing. You stared at the doorknob, heart racing. You rubbed your silk palms against your jeans to dry them. You reached for the doorknob. Suddenly, you heard voices from around the corner. Panicked, you clenched the door open and raced inside. It was dark inside his room, but you didn't dare risk turning on the light. You listened as the voices grew louder, and as they passed Iida's room, before they began to fade, disappearing after moments. You let out a sigh of relief as you reached for your phone, turning on the flashlight. You had only seen Iida's room once, during the unappropriated dorm room decoration competition, but you were fairly certain his dresser was on the left side of the room. You flashed the light at the direction. Success. You tiptoed to the dresser, your heart in your throat as you realized that the act you were about to commit would surely brand you as a creep if you were caught. You pulled at the top drawer, deciding to start your search there. Nope, it's just shirts. You slightly slid it closed and pulled the second drawer open. Wrong again. Painfully Aware of the precious time you were wasting, you quickly opened the third drawer. And yet again, wrong. Frustrated, you yanked open the fourth one, unsure of where you would look next if it also devoid of the underwear. You peered inside. Bingo. Who keeps their underwear in the bottom drawer of their dresser? You mumbled in annoyance to yourself as you grabbed the closest pair to you. I'm sorry, I'm getting flustered. You smoothly shut the drawer and rose to your feet, preparing to make your hasty retreat. Then the doorknob began to turn. You froze, your heart stopping for a moment. The turning stopped and you heard Ida's voice talking to someone, pausing his entrance into the room. You shook yourself back into action and used diversion to find a hiding place. There weren't many options. The knot began to turn again. You sprinted to the long, draping navy blue curtains that hung in front of the window, pulling them aside and shrinking down behind them. Close to the bedboard of his bed, you turned the flashlight of your phone off at the same moment that the overhead lights flickered on. You held your breath as you heard Ida enter the room, dropping what sounded like a heavy bag on the floor. Crap, 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 crap. What am I gonna do? You mentally screamed at yourself. Why did you listen to Mina? Her week-long comments of you being chicken would have been much preferable to this hellish situation you were currently in. You clenched the black boxers in your hands as you Phoebe tried to think of an escape plan. The only way you were getting out of here was if Ida left again. You mournfully realized. The sound of the heavy textbook dropping upon the wooden surface arose you from your scrambling thoughts. A chair scraped on the floor a moment before the sound of a body sinking down upon its heard. Was he going to study? You waited a minute, mentally counting to 60, before intently peeking out of behind the curtains. Sure enough, Ida was seated at his desk, carefully writing something down in his notebook. You were stuck. You mentally groaned at your hostful circumstances, knowing Ida, he would be at the desk for hours, poring over his notes and perfecting his knowledge of your current studies. So did you just admit your defeat and expose your embarrassing position? Maybe. You could scare him and say that you were dared to startle him. No. Too much time had escaped for that to be a possible explanation. You decided to wait till he left the room again. He'd have to leave to use the washroom or go get something to eat eventually, right? 30 long minutes passed. Your legs began to cramp. You had to pee. You peeked out from the curtain. He was still engrossed in whatever he was working on. You swallowed a sigh. Your desperation was getting to the point where you almost didn't care if you got caught. You felt a vibration in your pocket. Your breath froze as you waited to see if Ida had heard. The scratching of his pen continued. You released your breath slowly. You carefully pulled your phone out to see what your notification was. One new text from Mina. Where are you? Wait, you could text Mina to save you. What an idiot. Were you not thinking of that earlier? You quickly texted her in your situation, begging for her to distract Ida long enough for you to make a break for it. She texted back immediately. 16 laughing emojis. Yes, 16. You counted. You scrolled at the phone. Another text arrived. On my way. You sagged slightly in relief. You were saved. You waited patiently for Mina to arrive. A few minutes later, you heard a knock. Ida's chair scrambled away. As he moved to answer the door, he peered out again, watching him scratch, his shirt raising just enough to expose his taut lower abs. Hot damn. He walked to the door and opened it. Ashida-san. He greeted her in surprise. What brings you here? Hi, Ida-kun. Mina replied cheerfully, making eye contact with you for a split second. I was wondering if you could help me with the microwave downstairs. It's not working. You watched as he removed his glasses and wearily rubbed his eyes. There's no one else who could help you? Mina placed a hand on her hip defensively. Well, sorry for bothering you. I just thought as class representative, you're the best person to ask. She looked at him pointedly. He stood up straight at her words. Yes, of course, you're right. He turned suddenly. Just let me grab your eyes wide as they locked with Ida's dark blue ones. He blinked as he glanced from your panic face to Mina's guilty one. Understanding, dawning faces. He turned slowly and shut the door in Mina's face. Turning back to your trembling form, you pulled the curtains back across your flaming face in a sad attempt to hide. Come on out, Yin-san. You pushed aside the drapes, miserably stepping out to face your humiliation. Ida glanced at you. Is there a reason you're hiding in my dorm room? He asked sternly. Well, you dragged out. I was kind of dared. That is no reason to enter someone's room without their permission. Childish behavior such as this is a poor reflection of UA. You represent the school and... You blinked up at Ida, rosing out from his lecture. You stared intently at his flustered cheeks, the rapid motion of his large, strong hands, the cute, impatient way he pushed his glasses back up to his nose. He was just so adorable when he gave impassioned speeches. Well, he was saying, what do you have to say for yourself? You pouted, your eyes down gaze. I'm sorry. He faltered for a moment as he stared at you. Yes. She stuttered. Well, it's still highly inappropriate. As class representative, I really should report this to the school. Your heartbeat dropped. Please don't, Ida. Being a student of UA has been my dream for so long. I do take it seriously. Please don't let this one silly mistake jeopardize my dream. You begged your intent. Oh my God. Earnestly. His eyes softened. He looked away, uncomfortable. I don't know. You gazed up at him, your eyes pleading, shivering with unshed tears, the same puppy dog eyes you had tried to use earlier on your friends. He stared at you, almost in a translucent state. Okay. He considered, his cheeks pink. I'll let it slide, this time. Thank you so much, you cried, wrapping your arms around him without thinking. He patted your back awkwardly. You stepped back. Suddenly shy. I guess I should get out of your hair now. Oh, he said, looking a bit disappointed. Well, you don't have to. You tilted your head questioningly. Oh? Your voice was steadied, a currently dismissal to your pounding of your heart. He rubbed the back of his neck. Yeah, you could study for the test on Monday in here with me, he said tensely. If you want, he added quickly. You smiled brightly. Okay. Suddenly, you weren't so annoyed at Mina anymore. Are those spy boxers in your hands? Never mind. You were definitely still going to kill Mina.